I'm going to show you guys exactly how I book 25 plus sales calls every single week for my marketing agency using the 4C framework that I'm going to be showing you guys in this video. This is for you if you've started your agency, even if you haven't started and you want to get more booked calls, or if you're already at between $5,000 to $15,000 a month and you want to scale it past 20K. Let's get into the video. I'll show you guys exactly how we do that. So the first thing I want to show you guys is the actual proof. So obviously you can see here, this is about 29 sales calls booked. And then this is 97 booked calls for the month as well. Okay, so a lot of booked calls, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it. But obviously all of this turned into actual money and actual deals closed. Okay, so 9K, 5K, 5K, 3K, 4.5, 3.5, even $10,000. Okay, like there's a lot of payments here, and this is the exact result of the system that I'm about to show you. So this is for you if you are starting an agency and you need to book in more sales calls, or you're doing anywhere up to $15,000 a month with a proven offer and great client results, but your lead flow is slow, it's inconsistent, and mostly coming from referrals or organic social media, all right? And you want a predictable way to bring in high quality brand new clients, raise your prices without resistance, and book 25 plus sales calls every single week without relying on cold outreach, okay? So the 4 C's, like I promised you guys, what those 4 C's are gonna be is number 1, connection, number 2, consumption, number 3, change work, and then number 4 is gonna be conversion, okay? So I'll walk you through each of these. Essentially, connection is just going to be how do we connect with the prospect or the lead in the first place, right? So I'm gonna walk you guys through that. Consumption is getting them to consume videos, assets, just anything about you and your business to actually get them into your ecosystem. Number 3, change work. This is going to be shifting their beliefs, changing their mindset, and getting them to see you as the only option and the only path forward before they even hop in a call with you, okay? And then number 4 is going to be conversion, obviously hopping on the sales call and converting the lead into a paying client, all right? So let's break it down step by step. First one, part 1 of connection is going to be the ICP or ideal client profile. First step is actually understanding your ICP, okay? So the traits that I like to look at when going through and trying to find out my ICP is somebody who pays you in full upfront, somebody who has no objections, somebody who's an extreme action taker, and somebody who helps get results fast, okay? So somebody who just takes so much action that they just get results regardless, right? Now, how do you actually understand your ICP? Let me break it down for you guys. So number 1 is, who are they? The exact type of person or business you serve best, whether that be industry, revenue range, business model, or their mindset. And why this matters is because if you can't clearly define who they are, your message will be too broad and it won't actually grab their attention. So what do I mean by this? If I were to say your name, so hey, whatever your name is, you would actually stop and be like, oh, he just called me out, right? That's how deep you have to go with understanding your ICP, because if you just have a really, really broad call out, a lot of people aren't going to be connected to what you're saying. Now, number 2, core problems, the specific pains, frustrations, and bottlenecks that make them seek help now. Because what you guys are going to realize is that there are many, many people out there already looking for the solution that you're going to provide them, all right? There's so many businesses out there who need marketing, who need help with sales, who need help with building and refining their systems. And all they're looking for and all they're waiting for is you to pop up in front of them so that they can buy from you, okay? And again, it only matters because your offer only becomes irresistible when it solves problems they feel daily and urgently want fixed. So a lot of these companies are going to want marketing because they don't have enough leads, right? They're going to want systems because they don't have enough appointments. Now, number 3, desired outcomes. So the clear measurable results they want and the emotional reasons behind it. So the reason this matters is because people buy the outcome and how it makes them feel, not the process itself, if that makes sense. So instead of selling them something like ads or appointment setting, kind of think about it in the example of, a car. Let's say, for example, you want to buy a Porsche GT3. You're going to buy the outcome, which is the Porsche, right? And how it makes you feel. It makes you feel like you have status. It makes you feel like you have power. It makes you feel like you've made it. That's what you're buying it for, not the process, right? Not the, the engineering and, all the mechanics behind building a Porsche and getting one, right? You're buying it because how it makes you feel and the actual end product. So you're selling the end product to these clients. Now, past burn and skepticism. The reason this matters is because the bad experiences, failed attempts, and wasted investments make your potential clients very, very cautious, right? A lot of people have been burned before, and they don't want to be burned again by another person. So we have to make them feel like they can trust us. So addressing these upfront, it builds trust and it also lowers resistance to buying, which is why you want to understand this about them so that you can pre-handle these kind of objections, okay? Now, number 5, buying behavior. So how do these guys actually make decisions? Do they move fast? Do they need proof? Or do they rely on referrals, okay? So you have to understand this about your specific ICP, because understanding this allows you to target and fit your messaging to them specifically, okay? It lets you design your sales and your marketing to match their decision style. Now, how do you actually go about understanding your ICP? So what I have here is an ICP sheet. This is what all my clients get and what they fill in to actually have a deeper understanding. So without asking the right questions, you're not going to know exactly what you need to close the client essentially. So we ask so many different questions. Who's your ideal buyer? What's their role? What's the industry? What's their psychographic snapshot, right? So for this med spa example for one of my clients, they're female, 32 to 50, growth-minded, image-conscious, and entrepreneurial, and all these other things. What do they want more than anything? What do they want emotionally, practically? What do they fear the most? Okay, what have they already tried that failed? You have to understand all of these different things, because what this gives you is all the context you need to actually be able to attract your dream client, convert them, and actually close them. Now, I've got this entire sheet, right? And the great thing about this and having an understanding and a full document of your ICP is that it gives you a whole bunch of context that you can feed into a custom GPT that is designed to create high converting sales copy for you. So a lot of the time, you have to think about what to say to these people, right? But if you have all of this context here, you don't actually need to think about it. You can just put it in to a custom GPT, just like one I have designed here, to actually say the right things to them, say the right message that you actually need to say to them, to get them to click on whatever you want them to click on, or buy whatever you want them to buy, okay? So you're gonna use the exact same custom GPT to help you create your offer as well. Now, that's where we come to the next step. So the offer itself, once you've found your ICP and their problems, now you have to create the offer that is the solution to those problems, okay? So how to create an irresistible offer. The core definition is an offer so good that people feel stupid saying no. It's a value exchange where the perceived value far exceeds the price that they're paying you. So let's say, for example, you're charging $5,000. As long as your value exceeds that, it's $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 worth of value, they're going to pay you. And that's when your offer is strong enough. Now, the essential framework is going to be number one, you want to target their biggest pain point. So solve the number one problem they pay anything to fix right now. A lot of the time for local businesses or just any business online, it's going to be lead generation and marketing. So actually having people who are interested in their service, okay? A lot of these business owners out there, they just don't know how to market. They don't know how to attract new clients because they rely on word of mouth, referrals, all that kind of stuff. So they don't have constant flow of new leads coming in who are excited about working with their business, okay? Now, number two is use the value equation. So you want to maximize the outcome you give them. So, you can promise them $100,000, right? Make them believe and see that the likelihood of success is extremely high so that there's no risk. And then also the speed to those results is super quick. So if they can see that they can make $100,000 next month, super, super quick working with you, that is a very strong offer, okay? And then you also want to minimize their effort and sacrifice required. So if all they have to do is pay you, click a button, and all of a sudden they have that $100,000, they're going to love that offer. So most of the time, to actually make sure that these guys have pretty much zero effort and sacrifice, all you're going to do is pretty much everything for them, right? You're going to do a done for you service where you pretty much take care of all of their marketing, all of their appointment setting, all of their system building, all of their automations, their funnel building. Every single piece is done for them so that they don't actually have to do anything. They just wake up, they have new leads, new booked appointments, and new clients to be closed, okay? That is a very, very strong offer. Now, number three, offer specific and measurable results to your leads, because without any sort of measurable results or numbers that they can look at and feel that's tangible, they're not going to want to buy from you. So a really strong offer has to use exact numbers and timeframes. So for example, we'll get you 15 sales calls a week within 30 days. That's a really, really strong offer, okay? Now, number four, you want to build credibility upfront. So you want to share proof of your process before the call to actually nurture the prospect. You want to use case studies, testimonials, and results if you have them. You also want to pre-qualify them so that the sales call is just collecting payment, and you want them showing up to the call asking, how do I pay, instead of how it works, okay? Once they understand and have trust and the credibility there upfront before actually going onto the sales call, they're going to want to pay you. That makes a really, really strong offer when they already understand what you do. Now, maybe you already have an offer that's proven and you know your client's love, right? Maybe you don't have that. But if strangers don't actually know about your offer, then you actually don't make any more money. So the biggest problem that you have is not your offer, but having attention on your offer, enough attention on your offer, okay? So how do we actually gain attention? There's only a couple of ways: cold outreach, warm outreach, making content, or running paid ads. But the thing I want to show you guys in this video is actually how to run ads profitably and what you need to do to actually make them work, okay? So just to go through, cold outreach versus ads so that you guys can actually understand why we use ads to actually scale agencies. The pros for cold outreach, obviously direct, personal, and immediate. You control exactly who you reach out to, and there's no upfront ad spend. That's great if you're starting out. But the cons of this is that it's time intensive. You have to spend a lot of time doing cold outreach, even personalizing it as well. And you only reach one person at a time. So you can't do much. It's not leverage, essentially. Number two, it's low leverage. The pipeline dies if you stop sending. So if you stop sending messages, if you stop picking the phone up, there's going to be no leads for you, right? And so this puts you in a lower status position as well, because you are chasing them. You are essentially begging them to work with you, and the scalability is capped. It's hard to do hundreds, if not thousands, of cold outreach a day without a huge team or some sort of other software that you also need to pay for. Okay, so those are the pros and the cons of cold outreach. Now I'm going to go into ads and why ads is so good if you're going to be running an agency. Okay, now the pros here is that it scales infinitely. One ad can reach thousands of people every single day. It builds authority and position because they come to you asking you for your help. It works 24/7. It's compounding attention machine, right? You leave your ads on, they just work for you. Your ad is always out there producing more attention. It's predictable, it's trackable, and it's repeatable as well. So you can actually see the numbers of the ads. You can see things like cost per lead, click-through rate, CPMs, which is cost per 1,000 views. How much does it cost you to reach 1,000 people? All these different metrics so that you can actually make, informed decisions on what to do. Now, the cons of ads, obviously, it requires budget, right? And you have to learn. Right? Obviously, that's the same thing with anything. But as well as that, if you have bad creative, you've wasted money. But even then, bad creative is essentially you just testing out new creatives, right? Now, it also takes time to dial in targeting, messaging, and funnel if you don't know exactly what to do and if you iterate too slow. But obviously, if you do it fast and you know what you're doing, you can get these work very, very, very fast. And so if you want to start an agency or scale your existing one, ads are going to give you the fastest path to more leads and also more booked calls, right? So now, I'm going to go into generating attention and actually getting qualified leads for your agency. Okay. So the start of the client journey, the absolute first thing they see in the connection phase, which is the first of the 4 C's, is ads, right? So you want to run stupid simple ads, just like this. This is an actual ad that I ran for my own marketing agency, which is literally just Squidward. And as you can see, this is me, right? But what you have to realize is that good creative, all it has to do is it has to stand out visually, which is a hook. It has to call out your ICP. So I was targeting real estate agents / realtors, whatever you want to call them. And then it has to speak immediately to pain or desire. So in this ad here, how I sleep at night knowing I'll get 2 listings in 90 days and only pay after closing. So what is a listing? It's essentially a real estate agent listing up a house, putting it on the market. And once they do that and they close that, they make a decent amount in cash. Okay. So this is a desire that they want. They want 2 listings within 90 days, and they also want to pay after closing. So that's a really, really strong offer. Now, your entire creative should be a massive hook that speaks to your ICP and makes them want what you have to offer. They want 2 listings in 90 days, and they only want to pay after closing, right? Nobody wants to pay up front. But this is done through attacking their pain or desire and agitating it so that they have no choice but to find out more from you, okay? Now, what were the actual results of this? I had 173 leads on this one ad in a month, okay, for $13 a lead. Extremely, extremely cheap, okay? Now, the total for this entire ad set, okay, was 229 leads at $15.79 cost per lead. That came out to $3,600 in monthly ad spend, and it came out to over $20,000 in actual people paying me money, okay? So this is the power of running ads. You can get a 5.7x ROAS, actually make a lot of money from the money that you're actually putting in, okay? So I just want to show you again, a super, super simple Squidward ad. Like this is a meme, right? Squidward's just sleeping. This ad, this stupid simple ad, had a little bit of money put into it and out came over $20,000, all right? Now, what actually happens when people click on the ad? What happens is they get taken to a Facebook instant form. They qualify themselves for your offer, okay? So they're gonna either tell you they're disqualified or they are qualified to go through. So what that actually looks like is, this is the first page of a form on Instagram or Facebook. So as soon as they click on the ad, they'll see this, they'll hit continue, and then they'll qualify themselves here, okay? So I asked them their current annual income. There's 4 different levels here. And anybody who clicked under 75K, I completely disqualified them. So I'm not even going to talk to them, okay? So you're only going to bring in qualified leads. Now, after they fill this in, all they need to do is fill in their contact details. And then this page here is essentially getting them to go to the next step, which is either going to your landing page or getting hit by your automations, okay? So what this says here is, wait, you're not done yet. Click the button below to watch a short video on how our system can get you 2 deals in the next 90 days, okay? So there's 2 things that happen, like I said. First is going to be the conversion funnel to actually convert all of that attention, all of those leads into booked calls, and then also the post opt-in automations, all right? So this is actually the start of the second phase of the 4 C's, which is consumption. Now that they've clicked onto the ad, they've connected with you, they have to actually consume information about your business, testimonials, your process, all these kind of things, so that they actually trust you enough to work with you, right? So to start with consumption, they get redirected to a high converting VSL landing page. So a VSL is a video sales letter. A sales letter is essentially you trying to sell somebody on something, and the VSL is just the video version of that, okay? So this must be congruent with your offer on the ads. So if you're saying you're gonna get them 2 deals in the ad, you have to say that in your landing page as well, as you can see here, right? And the VSL must speak to their problems and show how you can solve it for them specifically, all right? So when you go ahead and you script out your VSL, hit them with the problem straight away, show that you understand it, and then show how you can also help them solve that and achieve the transformation that they're looking for, all right? So on the landing page, this is the headline. This is the VSL itself. And after that, you need to show proof and authority from past clients if you have them. All right, okay? And if you don't have them, it's completely fine. All you need to do in your actual VSL is show that you know the step-by-step process that can help them get from A to B. Right? So quick testimonials if you've got them, and then the main call to action or CTA on the landing page itself is to book a call. So once they click on the book a call button, they're going to be taken to a booking page here where they can select the time to actually speak with you, right? And after that, what happens is you have a bunch of booked calls, right? So this is my own book calls. I had 114 book calls a month. 87 of them actually showed up, so that's a 76% show up rate, which is incredible. And that's pretty much it once they go through your actual funnel itself. Okay, now after they click on the ad again and they go to the next step, they get hit with post opt-in automations. The reason you want to do this is because you want the speed to lead to be instant, right? As soon as somebody opts in to grab something, they apply for something, they register, you need to get to them immediately with both SMS and email, okay? Because that is the time frame that they're actually still extremely hot. They want what you have, they've gone through, they have the desire to actually go ahead and do the next step. But if you don't hit them with SMS and email really, really quickly, they're going to forget about it, right? You guys know yourselves. As soon as you click on something, you might apply for something, and then if you don't get hit with something straight away, you're going on scrolling TikTok, you're going on scrolling Instagram Reels, right? You're doing something else because you've completely forgotten, and that's why it's so important to get to people extremely quick. So the actual automations themselves, they also need to be congruent with the offer that's on the ads. So like I said, if you're offering 2 deals on the ads, that has to be the same in the funnel, the landing page, and also the same in your automations themselves, okay? And your automations have to spark urgency to book in a call if they haven't already done it on the actual funnel itself, okay? So this is just a quick look at what the automations actually look like. So there's triggers, adding tags, all that kind of stuff. I won't go into this in this video. But what actually happens after, the automations are much longer than this. There are speed to leads. So in 20 seconds after they actually opt into your ad, they will get hit with an SMS and an email. And just as an example, what the SMS says is, hey name, this is Ethan. I'm a consultant from Confect. Just got your submission to check for availability within our program. And it looks like we've got 1 spot remaining for your area. So having a little bit of urgency, a little bit of scarcity. Let's hop on a call ASAP if you're looking for more sellers in your area before the spot is filled. Okay. So this is the exact SMS that we send out for the agency to actually get people to book in a call. Now, the whole point of these automations, again, is to convert leads into booked calls as fast as possible, right? Because the faster that you can get somebody to opt in, become a booked call, actually get on the booked call and close, that's how you're going to make more money, right? And you also want to nurture leads to show up to the call ready to pay, which I'll go into a little bit later. Now, all of this is done without you having to do a single minute of cold outreach, which is the greatest part of all this, okay? And just to show you, this is not the full automation, but it goes pretty deep here, as you can see, okay? So this is the first half of the consumption, right? Now, step 3 of the 4 C's is going to be change work. So what I mean by change work is essentially getting them to shift their belief. You want to break their belief, right? If they've been burnt before, you want to show them why it's okay to try again and why it's okay to actually work with you guys, right? So change work is super important, because if somebody doesn't believe that they can get help from you specifically, they're not going to buy from you. So you have to do your job on actually converting their belief, changing their mindset, showing the proof of, at the very least, you knowing exactly how to solve their problems, all right? So there's going to be 2 steps here: the post-booking call preparation page and also the post-booking automations. So as soon as they book in a call, they're going to get redirected to a pre-call preparation page. This is designed to show more proof and information about the product and set expectations for the call itself, because you want them to show up with the right expectations set. Now, what that's going to look like. So this is going to be a thank you page, and I'm going to give them a lot more information about what you guys actually do and how it's going to help them achieve the transformation that they actually want. Now, you also want to show proof that it's worked for others just like them if you have it. But again, if you don't have proof, that's completely fine. All you have to do is show your step-by-step process, which I'll show you in a sec. So they want to understand what the process is like working with you, because a lot of these guys, they just don't know what to do. They don't know how to do step 1, step 2, step 3 to generate more leads, generate more booked appointments. So that's why you have to show them, okay? So obviously that's going to be in your pre-call VSL as well. So your pre-call video sales letter, and you can also put it onto the actual page itself. So step 1, step 2, step 3, just to walk them through exactly how it actually works. And what this also does is it pre-handles common objections that past clients or prospects have had before the call. So you want to handle and crush any sort of objections before the call if you can. And that's why it's really important as well to have an FAQ to essentially answer those questions that they'll be thinking, right? It's called open loops. So if somebody has a question that hasn't been answered, they're going to consistently and constantly think about it. And if you can answer it before the call, they won't show up thinking about those kind of questions, okay? So they'll actually be more ready to buy from you. So this is actually what happens on the pre-call page after they book. Let me show you guys the post-booking automation. So the post-booking automations. As soon as they book in, you also want to hit them as soon as possible, essentially thanking them and getting them to do the next step to actually get nurtured before the call itself. So your post-booking process is just as important as your pre-booking process. You need to make sure that they are pre-sold and actually show to the call ready to buy, because there's no point you getting on a call with them. They don't know anything about you. They don't trust you. They don't have any sort of belief in you. And you get to the call, the end of the call, sorry, you drop the price and they're like, oh, I need to think about it, right? They only say that because they don't see enough value. They don't believe, they don't trust, and they have too many questions that are unanswered, which is why the pre-call process is so important. Now, what that actually looks like, there's a bunch of different automations that you can send out, SMS and emails, both as reminders, but also value, which is one of the most important parts, okay? So as you can see, a bunch of different automations here. So a confirmation automation, a booking confirmed automation as well via email, and then also reminder emails and text as well, okay? So one of the most important parts when you actually build your pre-call process, your automations, is that you provide value to them. So what you guys want to do is you want to provide as much value in the emails themselves, okay, that they can actually see that shows that you know how to solve the problem. So you want to be sending at least 3 emails a day before they book a call. So let's say they book a call 2 days out, you're going to send 3 emails today, 3 emails tomorrow, 3 emails the day of the call as well, so that they can see the value of working with you guys. You know the process. You know the step-by-step to actually get them results. And that's what you want to put into your pre-call process, okay? So that's the post-booking automations. And by this point, you've given them so much value. You've given them the education. They know what you do. They know the process. They've gone through. They've watched all your videos. Now it comes to the final piece, which is conversion, okay? The last C in the 4 Cs, the conversion, which is the sales call itself. So if you've done everything right, your prospect is going to show up to the call, pre-educated and ready to buy from you, okay? So there's a couple easy steps in the call to actually close them, which is going to be pain, North Star, cost of action or consequence, pitch, objection handling, and then obviously closing and collecting cash. So I'll break through these individually. So pain, obviously, if somebody doesn't have pain, they're not going to buy from you, right? Simple as that. If they don't have a problem, they don't need anything solved. So you got to extract the pain from them. Next is North Star. So North Star is essentially the dream outcomes, the goals, what they're looking to achieve. And the reason you need to understand this is because without understanding their goals as well, there's no gap, right? If there's no gap, there's no pain, there's no goal, you essentially can't solve anything. You need to have this gap so that you can fill in this gap for your client, right? That's when they're going to buy. If this gap is super stretched out, they're down here and they want to get to here, but they don't have the process, the systems, the marketing and the sales to actually get up here, that's a huge problem that you can solve for them. Now, cost of inaction or consequence, this is really important because a lot of the time, if there's no cost of inaction or there's no consequences to not moving forward and not buying from you, they're not going to buy from you, right? If people are okay pushing things off, if they're okay taking their time with it, there's no consequences. But if the consequence is, they don't make more money, they aren't able to take care of their family, they're not able to do this, that, then it's extremely important for them to buy and they need to buy, which is why it's so important to get this out of them so that you can actually sell to them. Now, after that, obviously, there is the pitch. So with the pitch, you literally just go through your presentation, you show them what you've got, how it specifically solves their problem. So each part of your system, each part of your service has to be a solution to a specific problem that they had, okay? And then after that, obviously people are going to throw up objections. I need to think about it. This is too expensive. Whatever that is, this is the objection handling part. And then the final piece is once you actually close them, you just collect cash. Okay, so I'll show you what I've actually got for myself and my clients as well, exactly what I give to my clients. So these are the exact scripts that I teach them to actually find the pain, find the North Star, find the cost of inaction or consequence, and actually go through objection handling and the pitch as well. Okay, so as you can see, discovery, finding the pain, digging deep, and actually understanding where they are right now and why it's so painful for them. And then going to things like the North Star. What do they want, right? What does that actually change for their life once they achieve that? Because at the end of the day, money is just money. But if you don't actually have any sort of, internal goals with the money, money doesn't do anything for us, right? It's just a tool. So what does the money allow you to do that you wouldn't be able to do without the money, if that makes sense? So it's really, really important to understand that. Once you find the problem and you solve it, you're going to collect cash on the call, okay? So obviously, this is one of my previous months, $20,000 in a single month by applying the entire system that you guys see here, okay? So this was the 4C framework of exactly how I booked 25 plus sales calls every single week for my marketing agency. I've shown you guys everything. If you guys have any questions on this, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Obviously, if you've liked, please leave a like on the video, comment on anything if you want to, and then also subscribe to the channel to see more like this. I'm going to be putting more out like this as much as possible because obviously I want to show as many people what it's actually like how you get somebody from a complete stranger to a paying client with a simple system just like this. Okay, so obviously it may have looked like a lot, but it's not anything crazy. And if you guys have seen this system and you actually want to use it for yourself, I do have a mentorship program where I help guys actually get started or even scale their own agencies. And if you guys do want to join that, I have a link in the description below. Feel free to click on it. One of my team members are going to reach out to you, see if there's going to be a good fit. Then we'll hop on call. Then we'll essentially walk you through the process of what it looks like to work with us. And if all goes well, we'll get you started. Okay, so again, thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.